the Grey Hat Beard podcast. Hello and welcome to show 43 of Grey Hat Beard, the modern workplace podcast where we talk about all things Microsoft 365. My name's Kevin McDonald. I'm the Grey of Grey Hat Beard. I'm a solutions architect at CPS. I'm not a solutions architect at CPS. I've recently changed roles. I've just remembered and forgotten all about it. I'm now the practice lead for collaboration at CPS, which is all very exciting. Apologies those on video. Yes, we have a nice new brand and they sent us a lovely hoodie, which I had on. So yes, I am going slightly promoting on there, but it's really comfortable and it's getting cold in the UK. Anyway, I'm also an Office Apps and Services MVP. And yeah, that's it. Guys, it's a good start. That's you.
Great start. That's the longest intro ever. I'm going to keep it quite short. And yeah, so my name's Al Eardley. I'm the Hat of Grey Hat Beards, and I'm a technical architect at the Microsoft Technology Centre in the UK.
And sadly, Gary's not here. He is off sorting out his brand new house, which is very exciting. It's been a long time coming. It does have a slightly floating front door, which appears to be magic from the photos we've seen. But yeah, he's busy sorting that out. So we're going to talk about the latest news in part one. We're then going to do things a little differently because we're going to release part two not in a week. I think we'll probably do it Thursday or Friday. And the reason is because Al and I are going to sit and pick out some of the sessions that you can see at the South Coast Summit. So for those of you in the UK, there is the South Coast Summit coming up in Southampton on 16th of October with the pre-work days on the 15th of October. We're heavily involved with the organising, running some of the tracks. Grey Hat Beard will be live recording there. That's the other thing we need to talk about. How we need to work out what we're going to do then as well.
We'll just ad-lib it the way we do everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So we might just wander around and just talk to people and see what we can do. But we'll be doing a live recording then. So if you are there, come see us. We do have some stickers still for that. But anyway, that's part two. Let's kick off with part one and the news. And breaking news today, literally breaking news. Facebook and WhatsApp and I think Instagram have gone down this afternoon. From what I've been able to see, I don't know, Al, if you've seen this, but it appears to be DNS issues. Who would have thought that it was?
Who would have thought it? There's not a certificate issue in there as well somewhere, is there?
Quite possibly, but I did say apparently you could buy Facebook.com was suddenly available. I saw someone, I don't know if it was a mocked up picture. I haven't had a chance to validate that, but yeah, seemed
so
pretty
you
serious.
Sneak in there and make a very valuable investment.
Yeah, exactly. Be one of those £1 GoDaddy ones. But yeah, interesting. It's always fun when those things happen because you realise the fragility of these services and how much people depend on them. Well, I'm not quite sure why, but they do.
You never know. It might push some of those shadow IT users to stop using WhatsApp and to start using Teams.
True.
You never know.
Could be a good one. Yeah.
That didn't come to your mind first, did it? That wasn't the first thought you had. Was it'll sort out all the shadow IT issues.
No, it wasn't. It was thinking that actually WhatsApp goes down far less than Teams and Azure AD, but I probably shouldn't say that on the recording. Yeah, exactly. We'll move on swiftly from that one. Another very small bit of news, but to me a very exciting one. I think Al, you think the same as well. We've mentioned WorkLab quite a few times, and we're big fans of this. Exploring the science of work and ingenuity. So Microsoft.com/worklab. And we've always grumbled there's been no way to kind of subscribe and get the latest updates. They do have a podcast now, which you can listen to once you've listened to Grey Hat Beard. But for those watching on the screen can see that there's now the sign up for the WorkLab newsletter, which is really exciting. So you can actually get notifications when those new articles come out, which is really good news.
Which is great because they're quite there's a lot of great content. I'm always referencing the content whenever I'm doing workshops with clients, but there's no dates on when things are published and you don't get notified. So it's great to see that subscribe button in there now to actually be able to know when there's something new.
Yeah. It's probably worth saying the sign up is a little bit of a marketing type sign up. So, but you can untick and make sure you're only signing up to the things you want to. They're asking for your work email and phone number and things like that, which I'd like a subscribe button personally, but it is there.
That's every subscription, isn't it?
Yeah.
You become the commodity.
Yeah, I probably usually you hit subscribe in Twitter and like, oh, I'm not giving you any details. says Twitter, hoovering up all your data. So at least this is a bit more upfront about it.
Yeah, I mean, if Facebook were alive at the moment, it would probably be giving you notifications about hybrid working and work lab.
That is true. God, we said before it wouldn't be energy. I didn't realise we'd just be sitting here being cynical about things. So
grumpy old men.
Yeah, exactly. Grumpy Old Men, the podcast. So the other big news from, what was it, the week before last, was the Microsoft Surface event. I don't know if you followed along live with this one, Al, at all.
I didn't follow along live. No, I was busy actually doing some work, so I didn't follow along live. But I have read up all about it afterwards, and it's some interesting things there. And there's definitely some devices that I want to get my hands on and play with. And the Surface.
But hang on. You're in the Microsoft Technology Centre. Surely you have hordes of these piled up in boxes all around the office.
Not always. No, not always. Hopefully soon, fingers crossed. But no, I mean, certainly we want to be able to play with these and show them to clients and actually use them. So yeah, we have had some duos in and played with those, and they've been.
Well, before you get started, let's run through for people who haven't seen what the devices are. I think there's two which were upgrades, which was the Surface Go 3 and the Surface Pro 8, which are nice. I think they're nice upgrade. I think especially the Surface Pro 8 taking on a lot of the design from the is the Pro X, the ARM-based one. Yeah, so it's got more. The screen takes up more of the space at the beginning. It's a bit more rounded. New place to store the pen that won't keep losing it. I think I've lost mine. I haven't told TPS yet. So if anyone's listening, sorry, I need to find that. Nice. Two new bits of kit. I
think that the storing the pen more safely is that's going to save an absolute fortune, considering how much they are for such a little piece of technology. But yeah, I think that's a great one, and it's a good, reliable. It's well proven as a design. It's light, portable. Yeah,
I've had two of them and used one a little bit before that. Love it. I do like the touchscreen. I like being able to use the pen and hold it as a tablet device. Not everyone does. And I was listening to Microsoft Cloud Show, and they very much wanted a laptop. If you want that, got the Surface Go, you got the Surface laptop. Lovely device as well, I think. Yeah, two nice ones. And actually, talking of the pen, there's a new pen as well. The Slim 2. Just bring that back with built-in haptics, which I think it can be used for a lot of things. So the haptics is that kind of feedback, that buzz, but the intention is to make it feel like you're drawing on paper, which I'm very intrigued to try.
I think some of the early pens, you could get different nibs. You could get different size nibs and things for drawing.
Yeah.
And they actually had really good feedback, so that it did actually feel like you were drawing more than a lot of the styluses where it just felt like you were just sliding the tip of a sharp pencil across glass. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much more feel you get and how much more natural it feels.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest change, wasn't there? That kind of talks better responsiveness and bits like that, but and again designed to fit within the new Surface keyboard holders. So that was pretty good. And then we got onto the more interesting devices. I'm going to cover, I think, which one do you want to talk about first?
Oh, I really like the look of the. Now it incorporates the name of every different device except for the Go, the Surface Laptop Studio Go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. X.
X, yes.
So this is the new top of the range one, isn't it?
This is the new top of the range one that's portable. So it's kind of taken the Surface Book and the Surface Pro and a laptop and mashing them all together.
And the Studio,
to have a really different sort of set of combinations. And I'm intrigued to see how it actually works, because I've had the Surface Pro and I've got Surface Books, and I love the Surface Book because you can flip it over and use it the other way around, and you can draw on it, and you can use it as a touchpad, which is great. But the Surface, and I need to look back to remember what the combination is. The Surface Laptop Studio kind of has a slightly different way of working, where you've got a nice keyboard, so you don't have the Surface Pro keyboard. You've got a hinged back, so you can flip it all the way over like you can with the Surface Book. So it feels like the best of all worlds, which will be, and you can then just flip it up as well, which if I'm actually at a desk, I'll flip the book around and have it as a third monitor in front of me at an angle, and then also use it to draw. So yeah, it looks ideal. It looks lovely.
Yeah, it's true. No, it looks very nice, and I think the actual main laptop portion looks very MacBook Pro, MacBook Pro-ish.
If it's anything like the Surface laptops and the Surface Go laptop, I mean, they're excellent devices. I really like those devices. So if it's got the same keyboard, happy.
Yeah, and if I win the lottery, I'll definitely be getting one of these, because I think they start at a pretty high price. So I don't think these are cheap ones. They're definitely top of the line. I think the only other thing I haven't seen much of how flat it goes in that kind of tablet mode. Be intrigued to see that, because I do like the tablet mode and that ability to kind of draw on it there as you're walking around almost. I think I've never had the Surface Book, but I always like the idea of being able to take that off and use it more as a touch screen and to write on. So
So I think it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go pretty much flat.
So
it's supposed to be that full laptop, then the Surface sort of halfway, but without the keyboard, and then all the way flat. Yeah,
the pictures I saw wasn't very clear quite how flat it got, so I'd be intrigued to know how much that
click
looks.
On the big pink link that you've got at the top of the page. No, the next one down, sorry.
Wasn't the Pro 8?
Yeah, not that one. That was the Pro 8, but the super duper Surface Laptop Studio Go X. And you'll see.
You see.
How
for those looking on there, you can kind of see it gets flat, but that doesn't look flat.
Oh,
okay. Yeah,
we'll have to get our hands on, have a little play, and have a review of it. Hey,
absolutely. Yeah, if Microsoft's listening, we're very happy to do a live review. Gary's not here, so he won't get one, but for Al and I, definitely. Next one was the Surface Duo, and it's kind of funny. I really want to like this device, and I think I do. I just don't like the price very much. I'm kind of like, it should be good, but would I use it anymore?
I think this is one that you've got to have the use cases for. You've got to have the it's not just I'm going to upgrade my phone and get this. And it's not I'm going to just swap out a tablet for this. This is, I need to actually, it's the, as Moraine describes them, the road warriors, out and about all the time, on the train, interacting. This worked really, really well. And they're really nice when you need that real estate. You need to have the call. You need to have that split screen. They work really, really well. But yeah, as you say, the price
in the current world. Are enough people doing that anymore? That would be interesting. And I'm glad they bumped up the specs, so it's now it's worthy. You're not kind of taking a hit on the functionality. You're getting pretty much the current functionality. So by the time it comes out, it might be a little bit out of date, but it's a good device, and I love the innovation in it. I remember when they brought out the Courier. That ability to drag and drop between different windows and things like that. It looks great. I hope it sticks around. I hope it sticks around long enough for me to feel I do need one.
Nice shiny new phone.
Yeah. I'd say that my favourite announcement though was actually the cheapest one, and that was the Surface Adaptive Kit, which was the little stickers. I've just noticed their foreign names: the Kit Adaptivo and the Trust Adaptive, which is, I like that. But this was kind of stickers that effectively make your devices more accessible. So that for those who struggle to open up laptops, for those who want to be able to feel the keys correctly, it's a set of stickers and attachments that make all those things easier. Really, really simple. Just lovely. And the fact that Microsoft's talking about this at a major event alongside devices like the Surface Laptop Studio, I think is great indication as well. Really, really good to see.
It's like the Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Little things that, when done well, will make such a big difference for so many people, and just make all of the technology more accessible. Rather than just thinking about the software side of it, what's on the screen, thinking about the hardware. It's invaluable.
Yeah, no, really, really like that. I just scrolled down and realised that I did forget about the mouse. The mouse is not very exciting. The fact the mouse is made of recycled plastic is exciting and fantastic, and I hope to see more. But yeah, brilliant. I was like, oh, I should get one of those, and then I was like, well, hang on, I've already got a mouse. That would be wasting plastic. That's really not a good idea. But no, I think overall, I thought it was a good event. I thought there was some nice innovation with there. They weren't just small upgrades. There was the unexpected with things like the adaptive kit on there. It was good seeing. I still think Microsoft's a good player in that, and I think they're pushing. For me, I think the Surface devices are there to push the other hardware vendors to do more as well, and they're carrying on doing that, which is great.
Absolutely, yeah. They're devices that people can. They will desire some of those devices because they are good devices. They feel nice. Yeah, absolutely. I think they're great.
Yeah, and I forgot to. I was going to mention this with the pen. The other news that kind of came out around the same time is the new whiteboard updates, which look fantastic. They kind of talked about these a little while back. Let's see if I can close that advert. Go away. On there and showing about the new functionality. It looks better. It's got all the fluent UI capabilities. It's got all the different good stuff in there. Still, if I'm honest, waiting for the guest access. I think that will be the big one to make me really want to use it. I still use Whiteboard quite often, but if we could use it for guest access, I can use it in meetings with clients. I would absolutely be all over this. I think it's great.
I think that's the big thing, isn't it? A whiteboard is a collaborative tool. It's great to be able to use it internally. I know when we worked together, we used it quite a lot. These new tools will make it even better. And guest access, I mean, that'll be the game changer for it, because that will open up so much more collaboration.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see that coming soon. Talking of guest access, other bits of news. There have been a lot of SharePoint news. Those who heralded the death of SharePoint, it's just hiding. It's just doing all the work for all the others, quietly getting on with things on there and releasing new details. So there's the Intrazone roadmap. They always have their pit stop episodes, and they announced a lot of news. You obviously got Viva Connections public preview that we talked about last episode. Some new video playback for videos in OneDrive. I think this is all part of the move away from, I shouldn't say away from Stream, the move of Stream videos into OneDrive and SharePoint within there. So you've got additional playback speeds on there. I noticed from this screenshot, it talks about transcript up the top, which I hadn't seen mentioned. I don't know if you know about that, Al, because obviously the old Stream videos, you could have transcriptions, but I didn't think we had that in OneDrive yet.
The transcripts are coming, certainly in the the meetings for videos. If you upload them, I haven't tested that. So you used to be able to upload a Stream video and it generates a transcript. I haven't checked for that.
I haven't noticed that. Maybe it's where you can upload your own transcripts against a video rather than it generating one from the video itself.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that looks like a meeting recording. That's on the screen, hence the transcript being available. But yeah, I mean, I think all of these are, it is that transition so that you've got more of the compliance, the retention policies, all of those elements that we've had in SharePoint for years, making them available for all of those videos, the automatic disposition of them after a period of time. Valuable capabilities, and it's just making sure you still have all of the good video capabilities to make the most of all of those videos.
Absolutely. Got some updates to the text web part, so now you can have your images in line with your text and have the text wrap around those images, which is really nice. I'm also smiling, looking at that picture, thinking that's Iceland. I'll be there in a few weeks. That's very exciting.
I think I'm done now. Then I think we're finished now, aren't we?
Thought I might wind you up.
On that note, yes.
Yeah. We've got the navigation switcher that I know we talked about with Gary, being able to go between the horizontal and navigation and the menu, which is nice. Share a list as a link, which is another nice capability that I kind of thought was there already, but apparently not on there. So it's good that this old functionality does keep coming back. Applied filters. There's a whole heap on there. It's just been really nice. So we'll put that in the show notes if you want to read through those. I guess one slight grumble we've seen from some of them, it's felt like a very slow release cadence for this, certainly with things like the Viva connections. It's kind of hit tenants and they go, yay, the Viva connection's there. And then actually the dashboard hasn't been there, or some of the cards have been there. Things like the card designer. I know some other people on Twitter have been complaining they've seen it or haven't. I definitely have been speaking to Microsoft recently at an event, and that was kind of fed back by quite a few people of sort of saying, be good to get this as kind of know what's coming and say what's there. I think there was News Boost was announced when it was released. There was only one bit of functionality you could just boost based on time, not some of the other things that were mentioned. So I think a definite feedback that it would be good to get a clearer view of that plan and when things hit on there. So yeah, if you're speaking to your bosses there, Al.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, but that's always been the challenge, hasn't it? Knowing exactly when things are going to land in each tenant and having some consistent rollout and consistent expectation, so that you're not kind of checking, your prod tenant, your dev tenant, your demo tenant, exactly. And getting
always in prod,
different
but
experience. Not dev. Yeah, different experience on all of them.
And I think that's the strange. We've kind of got used to waiting for things to land, but the fact that when they land and then bits within them drop at different times.
Yeah, coming soon is still a valuable statement, isn't it? Coming soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or it's rolled out now. It's like, well, kind of. But they have talking of coming soon, but they have given us a date. Moving on to Viva Learning has now got general availability announced for November. And some more details that came out in the message center, that there's going to be the kind of free version, which is going to have some LinkedIn Learning content. It's going to have the Microsoft Learn content and what's the other one? Learning pathways on there. So you'll get some kind of Microsoft focused learning, and then you've got the additional pay for one, which I think we've heard from Microsoft Inspire was talking about $4 per user per month. If only there was a big conference coming up soon, maybe at the beginning of November, that might have a little bit more detail on that. I can't think of anything.
That would be really convenient if there were something like that coming up, when they could make some big announcements.
It would really ignite the news, that one.
It would ignite the news, yes.
Absolutely. So, but I haven't got any things to share on that, apart from there's a message center saying that Viva Learning will come on there. But I imagine for Ignite, we'll hear more detail on exactly what's coming in there, and hopefully what's coming next with Viva Learning as well. I think we'll get that kind of view of here's what you're going to get for that GA, and this is what's going to come over the next months, quarters, etc., etc.
Oh, coming soon.
Coming soon, exactly. We all love a coming soon. I know one of your favourite old clients, that was their favourite phrase, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'd say
pretty much every clint, that's their favourite phrase. Yeah,
that is true. The opposite to coming soon is here to stay, and it's fair to say this is not the headline I was expecting, but Microsoft says Skype is here to stay with this major feature update. So we're not talking Skype for Business. I know I confused you at the beginning, Al, talking about this, but Skype itself.
I forgot there was another Skype.
Yeah, apparently A, it's still being used, and B, it's not getting rid of it. There are still an upbeat blog about its future plans, and it's going to still be there. It's going to be a rewrite or a front end flash to it. And I think it's fair to say most people kind of thought this was all going to go into Teams, and there was going to be a Teams consumer version, but maybe there still is, and there's still talk of it for Windows 11, but Skype's not going yet. Which, yeah, wow. What do you know?
I'd be intrigued to know, with all the recent hype around how much Teams is being used, how much Skype has actually been used over the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because it's been eclipsed somewhat by Teams and Zoom, and it'd be very interesting to know what the
I think
stats
it's
are.
certainly when I think of Skype, and I don't think it is still the case, but I think of calling someone. When I lived in Singapore, it was an absolute game changer to be able to sort of see my parents and have video calling, but it was that one-to-one. And I think a lot of people still have that mindset, and I'm pretty sure you can have, it talks here about sort of together mode and other bits like that, so you can have more people, up to 9 participants and things like that. So it has that ability to have more than one person, but I have not heard from anyone suggesting that we actually have let's Skype and talk through this.
Let's Skype, yeah. I think my parents might still use Skype.
That really is about it. It's a lovely article. We'll put this in the show notes. Definitely one to have a good read through on there. I think Christian Buckley brought this to my attention, so thank you, Christian, for that one. And it's all about where is Teams data stored, and this isn't so much talking about the regional aspect of, although it covers that on there, but it's talking about the application. So things like the Teams chat. It's critical data. Where is it stored? It talks about things being in Exchange mailboxes, shared files, or in OneDrive for Business. Inline images, emoji, and stickers are stored in Azure Media Server. So it's really, you kind of think Teams as one product, but actually there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We know files are in SharePoint and others as well. There's quite a few different technologies supporting what is that simple Teams front end, but that maybe not simple one on there, but that front end that goes on, there's a lot of different places as to where it's stored. And if anyone's asked, I don't know why you need to know exactly, but should you, for whatever reason, there are details around that, which is really good.
And I think there's, I've come across this with secure clients where they need to know where stuff is, making sure it's all, in the UK or somewhere that it can be controlled. And it's, as you say, it's a simple interface, but there's so much that underpins it. Where all the services are, translations, where everything's stored. There's so much in there. I guess this is also important for when you're looking at migrations as well. So mergers, acquisitions, all of that kind of functionality for Teams. How do you get all of this information out? Where is the compliance and the governance?
Or even if you're moving to it, I guess that if you're concerned about the security of a particular aspect, knowing that Azure Media Services is the back end, tells you a bit more about what's going on, and you can understand more about the system there. Could give you a reason. But from my geek hat, I found it really interesting to kind of know all the different bits going on there. Definitely. I would say with migrations, obviously you wouldn't have to connect all those different systems to migrate, hopefully, but you never know. If you find something missing, you might have to. Yeah. Other news. This news, we've had licensing. We talked about the price rises recently for Microsoft 365. This was a new subscription plan, and this is for education focused, a per device subscription plan, which I thought was very interesting. So it's talking about introducing new Teams content from camera. I think we've talked about that previously. I think we might have mentioned it in the news, certainly talked about it with Randy in the Comsverse show, that ability to have a whiteboard, share that on Teams, and when you kind of stand in front of it, it will still carry on. So you can put your hand and point at things and still see the content. Those who can see the screen, you can literally have a physical whiteboard. We're not talking about the app now, that you can point things from and have that content camera. But it seems that they're looking for this device. It's really for students, so you could have like a classroom based device rather than one that everyone logs into. You can have that one that used words right for the shared device within a classroom, and being able to license to that. So it's an alternative way rather than licensing per person, which I thought was intriguing.
Guess there must be demand for it.
Yes, I find myself saying that a lot with Microsoft stuff. I'm not quite sure where this fits, but Microsoft doesn't do this stuff for the fun of it.
It's interesting because in that article that you shared, it actually has a commitment on the price for a period of time as well.
Oh, that is intriguing.
It'll be good for 6 years.
Wow, That's very forward looking. I don't feel we can plan 6 months in the future at the moment, but yeah, good to see. So yeah, I think we were saying before the show, some nice news coming out, quite a few small bits. It's definitely feeling like Ignite is just around the corner. Things are being held back for that. I know there's the airlift going on at the moment, which is why I'm being particularly cautious around what I say. From that is all under NDA and talking about events this week. So getting an idea of what that hints to what might be coming at Ignite, but it should be a lot more news coming out around the beginning of November. As well. But it's not just about what Microsoft says, because it's all about community as well. I think there's two things. I'm actually going to swap the order around slightly. There's a big event, I don't know if I'd use that word, but initiative, that's the word I'd use, of Hacktoberfest, presented by various people, including DigitalOcean, Appright, Intel, and DeepSource. And this really is across GitHub. They're trying to encourage people to get involved in open source, and many of the familiar Microsoft related repos are supporting this. So certainly PMP and then the other ones are there. If you make a contribution, how many is it? 5, I think it is. On there, they're basically encouraging people to do those, and you can then get a t-shirt. But it's really just trying to get more people supporting open source projects. You can find which projects are getting involved in this, have those events. If you're having hackathons, I know, Al, you've been doing quite a few internal hackathons and ones with client, but they're trying to encourage more people, do some pull requests, look for the Hacktober topic and get involved. And you don't have to be doing code. You could be helped with the documentation. All the Microsoft docs are all effectively in GitHub, so you can go and request changes and do a pull request and earn things towards that as well. And even better, they're picking up sustainability, so you can get a t-shirt as a swag, or you can choose to do the sustainable option and have a tree planted in your name, which I think is fantastic on there as well, to have those two options. So really good, and encourage as many people to get involved as possible.
Good to see the sustainability element coming into something like that, isn't it?
Absolutely. I know there was some chats, I can't remember what kicked it off. I think it was talking about Comsverse and things, and saying actually having less plastic given out would be a good thing. I think most people would back that on there, either give out food or something more sustainable. Or sustaining. That's a good pun. Anyway, talking of Hacktoberfest, one of the repos that I think is supporting Hacktoberfest and has recently created is a friend of the show, Louise Fries, and her friend Carmen. Yes. Yeah, I really should have planned how to say that. I'm not going to try and butcher that at all, but Carmen, please, we would love to have you on the show, and then you can tell me how to say your name properly. But they've been working really hard on Provision Genie, and this is an open source way provisioning engine. I know there's the Request a Team app, which I think Alex Clark, wasn't it, from Microsoft, created as open source, but this is another one, uses a bit of Logic Apps, just gives you a really nice way to kind of provision your teams. And as Louise has said in here, it removes the wiki by default, which is brilliant news. I'm all for that. I've given it a very quick run. I've clicked on the deploy and then had to run off and do something else, and haven't gone and checked on it. I've heard from a few people, very easy. Certainly it's very simple to get it added to your tenant and try out. I will definitely be giving it a try. Sorry, Louise, I was meant to have done by now, but failed miserably on Friday because I didn't have enough time. But really good to see that the kind of community coming together. They're open to pull requests and things on here. So yeah, get involved in that one.
It's been a long time coming as well. This one, they've put an awful lot of work into getting it to this stage. Because I know they were demoing it quite a while back, and so yeah, it's looking really good, this one.
Really quite professional. Yeah. No, really looks sustainable. And I know there's some great third-party products that you can go and buy that do that provisioning element, but I think it's even better to have that option for those who are happy to take that, support themselves, and do those two different options. It allows you as an organization to pick what you're comfortable with, which is good. So yeah, usually we talk about events. I think the only event really we've got coming up is South Coast Summit, which we'll talk about in a sec in part 2. There's obviously the Scottish Summit coming up in February. There's a few other events floating around. Are those Collab Days?
Days has a few. Lisbon,
Benelux.
Yeah.
On there, what's it? Oh, and M365 Cabo. I did try and get internal approval to fly over to California for that one once I saw the pictures of the venue, but unfortunately,
they're not
happening.
It's because they were buying you that sweatshirt.
Yes, exactly.
They've
spent all their money on chocolate and couldn't send me to California for an event that didn't have any of our clients at. But I can't really grumble at that one from there. But yeah, there's certainly a few events coming up, but I think we will crack on over to part 2. So we'll wrap up the news. Thank you very much, Al, for sharing the details there. And stick around. As I say, it won't be a week, be just under a week when we publish this. And go and listen to the event, the different sessions, or some of the sessions that we think are a great idea at South Coast Summit. You're going to add something there, Al?
I was just chuckling at the way you're finishing. It's great. But yes, we are going to share our recommendations, which aren't biased at all, for South Coast Summit. So do listen, and if you haven't got a ticket, go out and get one.
Absolutely
essential. Go and get a ticket for a free Saturday with tons of free training. So you don't have to listen to the recommendations, just go get a ticket.
Absolutely. So come back and join us in part 2 and listen to that. Otherwise, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.